Hi, Jen.
Hi, Dino.
How are you?
Okay naman.
What are you up to now lately?
Ngayon, sinushoot yung If We Don't Make It. It stars Paula Avellino and Janine Gutierrez.
Mm.
Pero papalitan pa yung title no? Kasi parang malas daw yung title.
Bakit?
Kasi if we don't make it, it might not make it. So, gusto na papalitan.
What if we make it? Ganon. Parang ganon na
What if
siya.
it didn't make it? It just
Double
like,
negative lang. Okay,
like
okay.
it sounds like a negative, but it's so hard to think of a title. Nahirap na mag-isip ng title, but we had to change it.
How do you come up with your titles ba usually?
I'm just really bad at it. Just even before nasa Star and we would have title brainstorms, I would always be bad at it. Parang ang hirap kasi encapsulate eh. Parang
Di ba in a sentence or even a word, di ba? The whole story.
yeah,
I
parang
agree.
pinamadali ko like names na lang, like, you know, Vince, Catherine, James, yung something mas general like that, mas okay.
Gets. It's so funny to think na, kami ni Prime, we get to talk, we're good friends, but I haven't really gotten to know you that well. So, I think there's a nice opportunity for me, and I want to know sana your origin story, like how you became a screenwriter and I mean a writer, diba?
Well,
Were you always into films or books?
I've always loved to read.
Okay.
Nagbabasa na ako ng books even before I knew how to read. Like, I would just look at pictures and come up with stories. And then my parents thought I knew how to read. And
No
then
way.
I went into kindergarten and they realized I didn't know how to read. But I always had a book. So, ganun. Pero natuto na ako magbasa. My dad taught me and then I just started reading a lot. So siguro parang ganun yun. If you read books and you really enjoy them and then you want to make something then that was so enjoyable for you. Tapos same with movies. I think kasi no 90s there was a lot of brownouts. Like practically every day may brownout. So we would go sa mall and watch movies to kill time. So I got to watch a lot of movies at a young age.
Okay.
So yun. Tapos went to college, took up creative writing.
Where did you go?
Sa Ateneo. So, I tried different genres, poetry, fiction. Yung playwriting seemed to be parang pinaka-fit sa akin. So, after college, I just tried na pumasok sa Star. I didn't think I was gonna get in.
As a writer?
As a CDG. Doon kami
What
nag-meet
is a
ni Prime
CDG?
It's a concept development group member. So, we would brainstorm sometimes for hours and just come up with ideas. Tapos, ipipitch namin sa isang panel and then if it gets approved, then magiging film siya. So, basically, it's like a think tank.
Astig.
Yeah.
And what were the stories that you came up with at that time? Do you still remember?
A lot. Pero parang konti lang yung nagawang film eh. There was one which eventually became a film, but it wasn't my concept. Yung All About Love. It was parang omnibus film siya.
Okay.
So I was one of the writers, along with si Carmi, si Van, si JP. Tapos, ayun, okay naman yung experience. So it was challenging din. Kasi like, when you write, sanay ka to just write for yourself. What do I think is good? Ganun. But when you write for a studio, mainstream, then you're always thinking, what will yung public want?
Yeah.
What will resonate with yung public? So, yun yung challenge of it.
And how much of the push and pull between those two points do you give way? Like, do you write more about what you want to write, but also like give 20 or maybe more for how much the audience would probably like?
I think it's always at the back of my mind, masyado bang mataas tong concept na to? Is it too niche? Would people find it relatable? But I always try to put something of myself, something I'm passionate about or interested in. Pero yun, I'd say, I've noticed kung gagawa ka ng indie film, like sasali ka sa film festival, you feel less pressure na like magustuhan to ng audience. Kasi parang di naman nilalabas yung numbers, and so there's less pressure.
It's so, you would say, parang talagang sa indie films, or at least in film festivals. It's really more about a personal story.
Yeah, yung something, and well, it's difficult din kasi like you're very involved in it from start to finish, and like you make more decisions, ganun. Unlike sa mainstream that there are more people involved, so parang you can't, for me lang personally, I think if you're gonna make a mainstream film, you have to be open to collaboration and say like, this is what they want, this is what I want, how can we meet halfway, instead of
Right.
like, this is my story, it has to be told or nothing at all. Parang
Right.
can't be a bully about it.
Right.
I think.
And how is it naman working with Prime?
Ayun.
Siyempre, because he's also a writer, right? And
Yeah, he also writes.
most of the films that he's directed are created by the both of you, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's strange kasi parang people say meron kinds of films na, you know, it's very prime, it's very much ours, but I don't know how it happened. Kung like mas taste ba yun ni Prime or mas taste ko ba, or we just
Okay.
somehow started making those movies. So ganun, pero si Prime is very collaborative. He's always asking for my opinion and yung opinion ng mga katrabaho niya. But I think deep down, he always knows what he wants, but it's parang he's in the process of figuring it out. So
Yeah.
so that's where I come in. I feel like I help him flesh it out. We constantly talk about it and
Yeah.
brainstorm about it, and para siyang something very murky, and then as you keep working on it, it gets clearer and clearer. Parang ganun. But yeah, we
Ang ganda
argue
lang,
a lot.
Ang ganda lang. Yun yung mga pwedeng i-quote natin dito eh. Ang ganda lang.
Like, we argue a lot kasi nga lagi kami magkasama. So there's never a day off. There's never a break. We'd be watching a movie and then we relate it to our work and say, well, paano mag-relate sa project natin? You know, there's never a break.
I noticed also that the films that you work on, mostly about lovers. It's usually about a story of two people. Is that really how you want it? And is romantic comedy or drama the kind of writing that you want to get into talaga until? Is it your favorite? Ganun?
Yes, it is my favorite
Okay.
genre because I grew up watching yung mga Meg Ryan films, yung mga Nora Ephron films. So
Meg Ryan
I
ba
just-
yung mga ano, yung parang something November, yung last November, Sweet November, tama ba? yun?
ano yun,
Sobrang
Charlize
mali.
Theron.
Sobrang mali. Sobrang mali. Anyway, my sister's like shaking her head. Like, Kuya, you're embarrassing.
Meg Ryan, yung mga You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, and Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
Mga ganong
Okay.
films.
I've been to Cats, the one in New York. Right? That's the film. Right? That's the one. When Harry Met Sally? No?
Hindi ko sure. Baka ginawa siyang Broadway. I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh my God. People who are listening are judging me right now. Like, you have no right to do this podcast, Dino.
And it's
Okay.
okay. I mean, typically, it's girls who really like love those stuff. So,
Okay.
lang. Like,
Okay.
if you ask me about Star Wars, I wouldn't know either. So, yun. I've
what-
just always loved those genres, and yung,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed yung American indies, yung mga 500 Days of Summer, mga
Yun yung mga
Lost
gusto
in
mo.
Translation, Wands. Those are really my favorite kind of movies. But with regards to yung lagi sa dalawang tao, I think ako tsaka si Prime, we both find it easier to write characters na konti lang instead of like
Ensemble,
madami,
yeah.
na ensemble. Parang we find it easier. And siguro yun yung prefer namin ng movies na konti lang characters, dalawa lang, tatlo lang, and then you like dig deep into them.
Right.
Instead, rather than parang madami, and then like you get to know bits about everyone.
Right.
Parang ganun.
But it doesn't go that deep because you have less time to show it.
Yeah,
eh.
there's
that makes
less
sense.
time. So,
That's and it becomes more relatable in fact. Kasi yung iba talagang mas nakaka-relate sa pag lumalalim na yung story, di ba?
yeah, when you get to know more about yung characters. Yun.
What inspires you or what motivates you to keep on writing?
I think when I watch good movies,
You always go back to talaga to the
that's
movies,
where
no?
I always go back. I mean, lots of times I think about quitting when. In fact, I've quit a lot of times actually. But I
Or baka
always
naman
come
pause
back.
lang naman.
Siguro. I don't know. Sometimes I'm a bit hard on myself and I'm like, shit, I just can't do this. And I just suck at this. But so I think of quitting. But then, parang, I watch a good movie and I'm like, shit, I want to make something like that. I don't know if I can, but I want to. So, parang it makes me not want to give up.
Gets ko yan. I kind of know what you're saying. Yung
Yeah.
sometimes, well, for me naman, when I see like people like Seth Rogen, yun yung mga parang, shit ka, parang gusto ko gawin yun or parang kaya ko yata gawin. I know how you feel sometimes. Ang ganda nun. When you write, do you usually make the woman the lead or depende yun sa'yo? Or does it depend on the actors rin?
I think, I guess depende kasi sa isa pa, I would say,
Kasi I hear,
because he's deaf, he's like, you get to know more about him kasi parang he's the unfamiliar and we felt a responsibility for you to understand him because he's unfamiliar and deaf people are not very much represented.
Gets.
So, ganun. But typically, I would say yung girls, yung girls usually yung mas bida sa sinusulat ko. I don't know if it's conscious, but I feel kasi na like, yung women characters, sometimes parang they're very two-dimensional lang.
Okay.
It's either the Virgin Mary or the whore. Parang ganun. So,
Yeah.
I feel like I want to make good three-dimensional female characters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always succeed, but parang yun yung gusto kong gawin. You know, that deal with women's issues or just show women that they have flaws, that they're similar to men, that they're not just the love interest, not just the pretty girl, you know, not just the mean girl.
Yeah.
Ganun.
When you write, baka nga talaga, you wanna give that message, and is that your goal usually when you write or subconsciously?
I parang hindi ko naman siya goal, pero I guess subconsciously, ganun. Kasi I always appreciate films na yung woman character is complex and I always notice it. Parang gusto ko yung pagkakagawa sa character kasi parang there's more than meets the eye and hindi lang siya parang support sa male character. I was just helping him like develop as a person. Na she has her own wants. Na she wants rin things for herself and has goals for herself.
Yes. What I find interesting is the words that you chose. Like you use the words a woman with flaws, a woman who is complex, not necessarily strong or basta lang, just more in depth lang, no? Parang mas holistic lang na hindi lang siya yun nga two-dimensional. I like that.
Gusto ko na may flaws. Siyempre, sometimes it's hard kasi people might dislike her or people might not relate to her. Pero I feel like flaws in a character make the character more human and interesting.
I agree. Definitely.
Kasi I don't know, a part of me doesn't want to keep pushing for the perfect girl, which is so unattainable in real life na parang she's just perfect. And I don't find that relatable.
Yeah, I get you. Nung alala ko ng mga movies nung mas bata pa ako, parang the woman's always like so hot and then parang konting problems lang.
Yeah, and it's always like the guy has problems and she's helping him. Parang ganun. Siyempre, I don't always succeed, pero I feel like deep down that's what I try to do.
In the previous films that you've done, what, like, if may ask, Manananggal, what was a message for you there, or what was your goal in writing that film?
Manananggal, that was Prime's concept. So, I think where I was trying to find out where he was coming from, yung parang yung feelings niya about it, and find a way to like put myself in it as well. For Manananggal, I feel like we put in yung EJK kasi parang we didn't
time,
like
no?
how parang addict, monster, parang ganun lang. Or how yung Manananggal, parang usually sa urban legends, sa folklore, basta evil siya. She's just evil and she seduces guys and she eats them up and all you know is she's evil. So parang what if there's more to her than that? Yes, she is evil kasi like she kills, that's evil. But there's more to her than just an evil creature.
Right. Why does she do it? Like, no.
What if meron siyang evil nature but she's trying to suppress it? She's trying to fight against it whether she succeeds or not.
Yeah.
In relation sa EJK, parang what if itong mga addicts na to are not just evil people who deserve to die? You know, what if we can give them the benefit of the doubt?
Right.
Yun yung pinanggalingan namin dun.
Right. Sa out of all the films or the stories you've written, what's your favorite?
My favorite would be Sleepless.
Okay.
Kasi siguro kasi it's one of the first and yung whole process of it was so memorable. Even yung sa MRT, yung nag-guerrilla shoot sa MRT. It was just very memorable. Yung Sleepless kasi kahit na nasa Star pa ako, I was already pitching it. So it's been with me for like, I don't know, 7 years siguro, but I could never figure it out. So it was always at the back of my mind. Tas sometimes I would think about it, but I could never figure it out.
Yes.
Yung germ lang niya is two people who can't sleep, and then since they can't sleep, they talk para, hindi sila mabore. Parang yun lang, but I tried so many different things with it. At one point, naging parang thriller pa siya, and then at another point, naging parang love rectangle, na like, he has a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend, parang ganun. I could never figure it out. Tapos, sumali kami ni Prime sa Sinepanulat. Ito yung scriptwriting workshop ni Direk June.
Yeah.
So it was really helpful to like have a lot of people and si Direk June giving us comments. So, and si Prime rin, we brainstormed about it. And sa workshop, dahil siguro intensive and like you have to submit something, you have to figure it out. So that was really helpful for me to like, I feel like I figured it out finally after so many years.
It takes a lot of time to really find the right way of writing it.
Yeah.
How did you find your style?
Nasa start kasi ako. Someone told me like when you write,
Okay.
correct siya. It's all right. Everything needed is there. The formulas or everything's there, but it has no heart. And that stuck with me kasi I feel like that's the most important thing. If there's one thing you should achieve sa film, is for it to have heart. So parang sobrang discouraging na like, you got everything, but the most important thing. So it's something I've always tried to work towards. So parang na-discover ko sa Sleepless. Kaya siguro favorite ko siya because I feel like it's the first time I was able to do it. Na malagyan ko siya ng heart. Yeah, feeling ko lang. I don't know how people go about achieving that. But I feel like you have to put something vulnerable about yourself in it and take that risk. If you do that, then maybe it'll have heart. Because I feel like when you watch films, parang you know it. You know when it has heart and when it doesn't. It's intangible, pero you can sense it. So I feel like it requires some risks, putting yourself out there. Yun.
Grabe. Because there's a part of me that I want to try writing. And sometimes yung mga kahit ako naman kasi more on the comedy genre ako. And when I find some interesting stuff like what if this, and that makes me funny, that makes me laugh rather, I want to write it down. But yung formula, the technique, is there like a technical way of writing or like you just go on and go on? Like the project, like yung sa'yo, Sleepless took you 7 years to do it. Like how did you do that?
I think yung workshop was helpful kasi like you have deadlines and syempre you can't just show up empty-handed. You have to show up because everyone's showing up. So
gotta have a plan.
Yeah, you have to do something. But I feel like a lot of writing requires sitting still and facing yung blank page and trying not to be afraid of it and not giving up even when it feels like minsan parang lost ka na hindi mo na alam gagawin, but sticking with it. I believe everyone can write kasi like yung format, meron naman mga script writing software makes it really easy. Yung formulas, if you watch enough films, you're gonna figure it out. It's nandun naman. But I guess
Diba, in
trying to
screenwriting,
figure out what you want to say and put it in the most understandable way for yourself. Na like, you understood it and you want people to understand it. Parang I think that's the challenge.
wow.
Meron akong phone in.
Okay.
Meron akong, dati kasi ako nag-write ako before. Kasi tumigil ako. Tapos ngayon gusto ko na bumalik ulit. How do I get back on the horse? Parang ganun.
I think you have to figure out what, kasi mahirap siya. So you have to figure out something that you're really passionate about and you're interested in. You wouldn't mind spending hours and hours working on it. Because you feel like, this matters. I have to do this. And just
Right,
sticking it out, really. Just, minsan, it sucks. There are days na like, it just sucks. Like, everything sucks. And then there are better writing days na parang nagfo-flow siya. So, just sticking it out even in the bad days.
Were there
Yun.
times na you just were staring at a piece of paper or a screen?
Yeah.
And talagang wala kang masulat?
Pero ako parang
Or-
hirap ako mag-face ng blank page. So I would like do whatever. I'd shop, I would take a bath.
Right,
like,
right.
everything I can do to procrastinate. And then finally, like, shit, late na. Malapit na yung deadline. I gotta do something. So, yun.
With every idea that you find interesting, do you write it all down? Or parang namimili ka rin? Do you filter it?
I try to write it down. Meron ako sa phone, like, yung sa notes. So, kung may maisip akong concept, I'll just write down, like, a sentence or two. Yeah, and then some of them I want to pursue, and some of them parang maybe next time. Parang,
Okay, gets.
Mas
So you really
feel
have to have a second or third look at it, no?
Yeah,
Does drinking help? Do you drink?
not very. Wala akong masyadong
Have you
bias
tried
eh.
drinking and then writing?
No. No, parang hindi ako masyado
Diba there,
drink
like,
eh.
si Gali, you know Galileo Te,
Yeah.
diba? What he did before is he got drank soju, and then the next day, sabi niya, okay pa naman yung naisip niyang concept after when he was sober na. I just wanted to ask if somehow that's another, like technique or something. What was the
It
craziest,
happens.
or what was the the most interesting way for you to flesh out some ideas? Like, ano yung ginagawa mo?
Ano ginagawa ko? I don't know if it's interesting. What I usually do is I watch a lot of movies to inspire me. Example, naisip kong character. This seems similar to that character.
Okay.
Or yung structure ng film. It seems similar. Parang gusto ko aralin yung structure, see how they did it. But I try my best not to just rip off. I try to like figure out what worked, and then kung ano man yung nag-work, maybe try it. Yun, talking a lot. Kaya madalas ganun pa mag-brainstorm like at all hours of the day. Asking people for opinions, like talking to my sister, what do you think of this character? Interesting ba to? Researching, sa isa pa, it helped a lot. Kasi I say sa start it was medyo overwhelming kasi like hindi man ako deaf, si Prime isn't deaf, like what do we know?
Yeah.
So we research helped. We talked to a lot of people, deaf people and hearing people in a relationship, and for me research na namin naisip yung elements in yung story. So yun, lots of research, reading, watching, talking.
Damn, okay. I had a question in mind, but nawala siya when I was listening to you about Isa Pa With Feelings. When you were shooting Isa Pa With Feelings, what was the obstacles that you have to go through? Yun nga.
Writing for a deaf character. Kasi sa research namin and being around yung interpreters and deaf people, we realized na they have a different way of communicating. So parang trying to approximate that. Kasi like they use their hands. So
Lots of body language.
Lots of body
Yeah.
language. And syempre kung
Actually, only body language.
and kung hindi nagkakaintindihan, you have to like figure out a way how to communicate, sometimes through gestures, sometimes by writing. And siguro trying to keep it concise kasi on the practical level naman, ang hirap naman for si Maine and Carlo to like learn so much sign language. Ang hirap niya. I tried. I sat through yung sign language workshop and it was really difficult.
Oo.
Ang hirap niya i-absorb. So, to make it more feasible, we have to like keep it concise. So, napansin kasi namin yung deaf people, they're very direct. Like sa community, they don't beat
okay.
around the bush. So, they're very direct. If they have a question, they just ask it. Wala sa masyadong preamble. So,
Walang
kaya-
mga disclaimer na parang, "Ay,
Yeah.
I don't want to offend you or something like that.
Ganun.
Parang,
They just ask it. So to
Ganda.
put that sa character na he's direct and she's like trying to figure out how to talk with him. It was
Ganda.
difficult.
Yeah,
Really
yeah, yeah.
difficult. Pero I found it rewarding.
Yeah, I really love the film. Super. I
Thank
cannot
you.
stress enough about it. I really, really. Especially, this may be a, anong tawag dun? I'm gonna say, mention apart from the film. Kasi yung first sorry niya, sobrang luluha agad ako dun. Yung, di ba, nagbaga. Shit, sobrang luluha talaga ako. Gagi, ang ganda talaga niya.
Thank you.
when writing a story, so you've explained that you really like getting into two characters. I want to talk about more about character development naman.
Yeah.
How I'm sure there's a different way of writing then, or like, do you observe people? What's your style naman in character development?
Para sa akin, I think, kasi may different elements of a story or a script,
Yeah.
yung character, plot, theme. For me personally, character is the most important. And that's where I usually start. Kung may idea ko, it's usually
Okay.
because of a character.
I see. Not particularly a story.
Parang yung
Okay.
character, and then comes yung story. And then usually yung theme yung last kung na-figure out. Kasi parang after all that, then maybe I'll understand what I'm really trying to do or say.
Gets.
So yun, sa character, I observe people a lot. I analyze people a lot. Nakikichismis a lot. Like, nakikichismis.
Oh, importante pala yung chismis.
It's true. Like, kung nagko-commute ako, I always like listen to people talk. And meron ako once ginawa. I don't know if it's proper.
Please.
Nakain ako, tapos naman, there was a couple behind me and they were arguing loudly, like really loudly. Tapos yung girl was really like getting furious. So I found it very interesting kasi like when you're writing a script, there's always a confrontation scene.
Of course.
This is where yung characters dito na sa magkakabanggaan, dito na sila mag-argue and what.
Yeah.
And it's always been tricky to write those scenes.
Okay.
Kasi like, inisip ko, paano ba yung mga tao sa scenes na yun, do they mean what they say? Are they direct? Or do they beat around the bush because they don't
Right.
want to talk about it?
Right.
So here was a real argument happening behind me. So
Humarap ka ba? Humarap ka
I
ba?
hindi ako humarap. I recorded it.
Oh my God!
Just for
That's
research.
worse.
I
But I love it though. I love it. Okay, commitment.
Yeah, kasi
Okay.
naisip ko, this is valuable research material. This is how people argue.
No,
you know,
yeah,
when no one's, they think no one's listening. So I recorded it. And then afterwards, pinapakinggan ko. And I noticed na yun nga, parang, syempre pinag-aralan kasi, people sa argument, they repeat themselves a lot because yung girl was just repeating herself a lot. Or meron sa isang point that they keep repeating and it escalates until like sumasabog na siya. So yun. So I did that to like understand it better. And I know it's unethical.
I'm so amazed. Makagawa nga yun. Pag may nangyari nakakatawa, imbes na record, i-video ko na lang siya.
And then I attended some writing workshop before, tapos yung binigay sa amin writing exercise is listen in on a conversation and write it down. So that's what I did. Punta ako sa cafe.
You mean your own conversation or like
No, someone
like,
else's conversation. So I had to listen to them and write it down fast kung ano yung sinasabi nila. So I guess that's what I had in mind. So I recorded it instead of writing it kasi ang hirap magsulat eh. So,
Oo. Baka tanong, excuse me, what did you say again?
I can't interrupt them.
Yeah,
So
of
umabot sa point na may guard who came, who interrupted them and said, mag-away lang sa parking lot. I was so...
Ganon level?
It was that bad. Tapos yung girl,
Oh
I
my
think, was
gosh.
like hitting him. It
Oh.
was that bad. And I was so invested in it. Gusto ko
Sumunod.
mag-intervene and say, guard, hayaan mo na lang sila. So I can keep recording it. I was really
Saan
tempted.
to? Saan?
Sa SM The Block.
SM the block. Oh, okay.
I was really, for a second, I really considered intervening, say, guard, hayaan mo sila mag-argue so I can keep recording it. But then and then the girl started talking to the guard, trying to get him on her side.
Oh
and the
my
guard
gosh.
doesn't care, he just wants him out. Tapos yung guy nagsusumbong na rin. So like, why are they treating yung guard like a shrink? I don't understand. Tapos yun, meanwhile, I was just recording it, like thinking, this is so great. This is real.
Yeah,
And then,
it can't get more real than that.
Parang pinalis na sa eventually. Like, too bad, but it was a good material, I thought.
What I want to hear more stories. What are ano pang one of the most memorable things that you've observed or na witness mo?
Ano ba?
This is so interesting.
Actually, normal lang kasi I know of a comic book writer na yung ginawa niya. Tumatabi siya sa malls, naging siya sa mga kids. Kasi
Yeah.
naging siya sa mga teenagers.
That doesn't sound right. No, I'm just kidding.
Naging siya sa mga parang how teenagers speak.
Yeah.
So parang mag-isang linggo nila. So parang
Right.
record pa niya. Pero wala nang lang siya.
And I think lingos for kids lalo na it's very timely thing, no? Kasi kung anong uso, yun yung napipick up nila eh.
Yeah.
Oo.
I mean, I say na yung pinaka
Yeah, I think
interesting na ginawa ko, I think. Kasi usually it's pretty standard, like research, try to talk to people, interviews, ganun. I just did it just to figure out how confrontations work.
Have you observed anything with hindi naman sa away but in like maybe have you ever observed lovers on a date or being sweet to each other?
Well, gawain namin yun ni Prime, we're always looking at strangers and like thinking, ano kaya sila? Couple ba sila? Is this their first date? Have they been together for 5 years? Yung mga
There was a
ganun.
scene like that
Yeah,
in
sa
Sleepless. There was a scene like that.
Because we always do that. And you can tell a lot by body language how people sit malapit. Basta how comfortable they are with each other.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
always doing that. Lagi na isa ay kabit yan. We're always doing that. Just,
Very judgy pala tong
we're
mga
just
to.
judging. We're just judging her. Ano kaya work na tong person na to? And then we start coming up with stories. Siguro teacher siya. And then maybe he had a bad day at work. Maybe may nakaaway siyang student, ganyan. Maybe his marriage is falling apart. We're just like, just imagining all sorts of stuff based sa upo ng tao or yung kinakain niya. We're just judging people.
Sounds like a very, very fun job, though.
Yeah, it is fun. Siyempre, we could be entirely wrong, pero feeling ko minsan tama. Feeling ko.
Who is you consider your mentor?
I would say si Derek June. I would say siya mentor namin ni Prime because we got so much out of yung workshop. It was just such an intensive workshop. And sobrang ang dami na natutunan and marami sa amin pinanood si Derek na movies na really stick with us and now we're working with him sa Idea First. So he's really he's an inspiration to us and a mentor. Like how the films he chooses to make, yung discipline, yung tenacity, just the creativity, everything.
Damn. So it's very important to find that mentor or to have that training. To point you lang to the right direction.
To find a mentor who would maging masipag na basahin yung work mo and give you honest comments. Also to find readers, people to read your script and give their input and not be afraid to be honest.
Right.
And know how to read a script siguro. And kasi sometimes parang when you let people read, it could be very subjective. You know, ayaw lang yung genre, they don't like it anymore. So you need to find readers who are parang interested in lots of things, who can sit through and read 100 pages of script, yun, and be honest.
I want to know Jen's top 5 films. Ooh.
It's difficult.
I know.
I don't know if I can rank it.
Sige.
But off the
Don't
top
rank it.
of,
Just from the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, I would say Lost in Translation, Once, Little Women, the 90s version. Because I haven't seen the latest, but I'm excited to watch it. When Harry Met Sally, tsaka, ano ba? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I love.
So yun,
Okay, yeah, I like
you
that.
notice
I
na
like
they're more of the romantic, ganyan, pero
Tsaka
parang,
talagang story of two people.
story of two people na medyo intense.
Yes.
Ganun.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Eternal Sunshine is one of the few dramas that Jim Carrey did, no? Ang ganda nun.
Ganda. Ano, magaling siya sa drama. Like, meron ba siya isa Majesty, The Majestic, which is also good. The Truman Show.
Truman Show was really nice as well. Yeah, I believe that people who can do comedy can do drama rin.
Yeah, I strongly believe that as well. Like, I think ikaw, you're very good at comedy.
Thank
You just have that, and not everyone has that. So I feel like if you decide to venture sa drama, I think you can do it well also.
Okay, inspired now. Yun na yun. That's my calling na.
Minsan nag-usap kami ni Prime, tapos naisip ko yun ng concept, tapos parang bagay dito si Dino. I don't know.
Pero masyado mataba
Our
eh.
muse.
Kaya sige, ano na lang, ibang tao na lang.
No, I seriously think you'll be great at it.
Thank you! Thank you. Baka gusto niyo magsulat ng story, tas cast ako. Yeah!
I think we will down the line. Feeling ko lang.
Talk about yung kanina yung pinag-usapan, yung names.
Names.
Seryoso.
Ginagamit namin yung
Oh, right,
Indio
right.
Boys.
My gosh.
Indio Boy names. So,
Oo.
for isa pa, yung character din ni Carly, his name is Gali, who is named after yung sa Indio Boy si Galileo Tejo. Yung si
one
Gali.
of Prime's good friends, yeah.
And then, yung apelido ni Carlo doon, Pastrano, which is your surname.
Yes.
So, Gali
Sobrang nagulat ako doon.
Parang minerge namin kay ni
Gali Pastrano. Yeah.
And then, meron kami isang film, yung Can We Still Be Friends? So, meron din isang parang best friend din ni Gerald. Yung name niya, Dino. Which is named after you.
Yeah.
Tapos, yung latest
Thanks, Brian C.
Tapos yung latest one is If We Don't Make It, yung Paolo Avellino, yung character, his name is Harold. Named after si Harold
Soon, of course.
I think eventually magagamit na lahat ng names niyo. Pati si Gina tsaka si Annika, so sa isa pa with Feelings. Si Annika, siya si RC. Tapos si Gina, si Rafa Sigyon Reyna. We're just using all your names.
Oh, okay. Nice. Si Hub na yung next.
Yeah, I think
Tsaka
next
si
na
Ayo.
Hob. Kulang lang si Hob, si Ayo. Yeah, complete na.
Wiggy.
Wiggy, Luigi.
Nagamit na ba yun? Hindi pa.
Hindi pa. Yeah, it's an interesting name. I wanna use that.
Yeah, Luigi, di ba? You don't hear a lot of Filipino
Yeah.
Filipinos with Luigi name. What are the projects you're working on now, other than the Paula Avenida film with Janine Gutierrez?
Yun for now, because we're still in the middle of
in
it.
progress?
Meron, kasi Prime is always telling me to write kung kahit wala pang project. But sometimes I'm really lazy because it's so difficult. Sometimes I'd rather chill. Pero I have at the back of my mind something I want to do. I don't know when I'll get around to doing it, pero it's a concept I really want to make. Na hopefully I'll find the drive to finish.
Can you share bits and parts of it, or wag na muna?
I'd rather not. Baka ma-jinx.
Baka ma-jinx, okay. Oh, here's a good as a writer, di ba, syempre yung work mo is way before the shooting. You as a writer, do you like going on set?
Okay, tamad ako pumunta sa set.
Kailangan.
Pero sometimes kailangan.
Pero actually, sa ibang films, parang hindi naman sumisipot yung writer. Like, not every day.
Not every
So,
day.
ikaw, what do you prefer, and what do you think of it?
Ako, like sa Sleepless, I was there all the time.
Okay.
Pati sa Mana ng Gal.
Sleepless kasi first nyo eh. Kaya, syempre,
I'm there every day. Pati sa Mana ng Gal. Sa rin, sa isa pa, I was there a lot. It's really interesting kung nasa set, and then I'm always watching yung monitor, I'm always looking at yung acting. So, when you're writing it by yourself, you imagine yung character,
Right.
how the character talks,
Right.
even yung pauses, na like in the middle of talking, kailan magpo-pause. So, it's really interesting, pinapanood mo sa monitor, and sometimes they
Yung sarili
don't,
nilang take, no?
their own take. Sometimes it fits exactly what you want. More often than not, it doesn't. But it's interesting pa rin kasi parang it's their take and it's a collaboration. I do enjoy looking sa monitor, seeing yung actors act.
And
Yun.
writing and saying what you've written,
Yeah,
Act
or
out what
saying
you've
it
written.
in their own words. Kasi
Right.
sa scripts na ni Prime, parang it doesn't, for us, hindi naman kailangan to the letter yung words. So, kung ano yung
I wanna
parang
ask about that
natural
later.
para sa actor.
Right,
Yun.
Actually, yun nga. What do you think of... Kasi ako, when I act, as much as I can, I remember... Of course, it's a must that you memorize the lines. But
Yeah.
minsan, dahil alam mo na yung storya, at somehow, as an actor, you've come somehow being that person na, you say it in your own way. How much of that are you willing to give up, or are you willing to allow, rather, for your actors? And how much of it is like, no, this is how it must be said, and these are the words that must be said?
Iba-iba sa directors, I guess, or sa writers.
Okay, yeah.
For me, and I think for Prime as well, we give a wide leeway kasi
Okay.
important sa amin yung believability. And sometimes, kung like you're busy trying to like say yung words to the letter, you might parang maging out of character because you're thinking too much,
Right.
So parang kung ano yung comfortable for you, what you can say with the most conviction, I think. Pero it's important to keep yung essence of yung line. And sometimes kasi like adding a word or two could change the entire thing. So I'm just always looking out like napalitan na ba yung essence just because of this word or that word added. Yun, but kami were always looking for believability and parang natural yung pagkas-deliver. Yan. Ayun,
I'm learning so
improvise
much, yeah.
is great rin kasi sometimes if the improv is really great, it really helps the scene become believable.
Cool. Any tips on people who want to start writing or who want to go back to writing?
I do believe anyone can write. It's
Okay.
just like pushing yourself to like sit and not give up, I think. I think
Tuloy
yun
lang talaga,
yun.
laban lang.
And then watch a lot of good movies, read a lot of good books.
Yeah,
Kasi yun, for me, yun yung nakaka-inspire eh. If they can do it, maybe I can do it too.
Right.
And I feel like I still feel a bit shy about calling myself a writer.
Really?
Kasi parang dami-dami magagaling. Who knows if I'm any good, who says I have a right to call myself a writer. But, well, for
So
convenience
modest.
sake, I gotta have an occupation. I gotta fill something sa blank. So, then writer it is, But I feel like anyone can do it if they would just really push themselves and not give up. If I can do it, I think anyone can.
Thanks. Favorite books?
Favorite books?
Yeah.
Ano ba? Gusto ko yung nahiga sa children's books, yung mga Charlotte's Web.
That's the first book I ever read.
Yung Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Yung Sleepless is kind of like Charlotte's Web when I think about it. Yun, I read Stephen King books, Agatha Christie books, Michael Cunningham books. I mean, really all sorts of books. I just like hoarding books. Like,
So when it comes to reading, any genre talaga comes in?
any genre, although I guess usually mga mas drama, mas fiction rather. Parang hindi ako mahilig sa non-fiction, mga biographies, mas fiction.
Yes.
I like hoarding books and going sa mga Big Bad Wolf, mga book sale, and just like hoarding books. I'll find a way to get around to reading all of them, but I just like being surrounded by books.
Baka mabuo mo na yung library ni The Beast. So, The Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Kasi I
Yun
don't
pala
know his
yun.
name. I don't know his name. It's just The
Yeah,
Beast.
he's
Eh.
a beast. May
Beast.
name siya, but I don't know what his
Ako
name
rin eh.
is.
Prince
Ano,
something.
John? I don't know.
It's always Prince John, like a John. John is such a Prince name. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Dina.
Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Listen to podcast.